witch is so unique.
The gift of witchcraft.
I was able to see, hear, and communicate with spirits.
A very personal relationship between a person and spirit. Carnal lust and fun things like that.
Working with different energies and spirits and communicating.
Creating magic.
Powerful ritual and powerful spell. She's actually sticking me in the cult.
The role of the witch is to make change.
Blessed be, y'all. Blessed be. People ask me like, okay, I'm a witch and I don't know what to do.
20 years ago, 3 young friends realized they were witches.
They scattered to different parts of the world following magic and spirit.
Now, they're back in their hometown to share what they've learned.
Welcome to That Witch Life podcast, your home for living as a witch in today's world.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of That Witch Life podcast. I am your host today, Kanani, and I am joined by
Hillary.
And Courtney. I wasn't sure who was going to go second there. I got confused again.
Shocking.
You don't seem tired at all.
No, you seem totally
tired.
normal.
I'm so tired. And I also have to say, I am so confused as to what time of year it is. And I'll tell you 2 things. First of all, we are recording this in July and it's being released in September. And we're talking about fall equinox. And I just came back from Ohio where we were celebrating my mother-in-law's birthday. But I've only gone to Ohio at Christmas, except for one time. And so I was so confused by the green and the lack of snow and walking into my mother-in-law's house and seeing regular household decorations instead of all the Christmas and all the Santas. I was like, where are all the Santas? What's going on? And then at one point we're sitting out on her porch and I'm like, I literally don't know what month it is. And so now you guys have just thoroughly thrown more confusion into the mix since we were spending the episode talking about fall equinox. Thank you so much. I have no idea what day we're at.
I mean, that's fair.
I've been up for 36 hours.
I was thinking the same thing because right now we're in July and we just had the new moon. And I should know this by now, but I did not, the night before the new moon, I didn't hardly sleep. And not only did I not hardly sleep, my children, we were just super restless. We were up way later than we're ever up. And then I was up, by 5 a.m. And I'm like, why didn't I sleep last night? And then the next day, the same thing happens. And it's like, oh, it's because it's the new moon. And I had forgotten that I'm not allowed to sleep during the new moon. So apparently that's my new moon ritual is I don't sleep either a couple days before or the night of. So I'm hoping the day after, maybe I'll have a little bit more luck because this is actually the day after the new moon. So I'm hoping maybe I'll sleep. I'm not feeling overly optimistic because the last time this happened, I think I had a week and a half to 2 weeks of garbage sleep. So that's the fun part of starting to, have your life become a little bit more in tuned with the moon cycles. It seems like for me, my sleep is just completely upended. So that's been very interesting. But it was funny. I was at a work meeting and we were talking about how someone was saying something about next year. And I was laughing because I have to remember in my brain that when you're a business and the company, when they say quote unquote next year, they usually mean January. Yeah. They usually mean the next, 2024, which just saying that makes my stomach hurt. But so I'm having to play this in my head because when you're a parent, next year becomes September. Mm-hmm. It's when the kids go back to school. It's the next school year. So for me, next year is always the fall. The fall is next year because my life is still dictated by a school calendar. And so it's now that people are already starting to talk about next year, my brain is jumping between 2024 and the next, when my kids go back to school. And so that's something that I think people who don't have kids or their kids haven't been in school for a long time, next year is very decidedly in their mind, usually January. And when you're still dealing with young kids, usually the next year is the next start of the school season. So,
oh no, I'll throw something else at you, Kanani. My company's fiscal year ends on June 30th. So next year for us always starts July 1st.
They can piss off with that.
Oh, it's always a thing. There's always a thing.
Yeah, that's just no. But yeah, so it's, and I don't even, we're halfway through the summer. Like, I don't know how that happened.
Technically,
My
we're actually
brain
in the
is just-
fall, Kanani. We have
I know.
time warp
Technically,
into
when
the
this comes out,
future.
we're in. I want to be in the fall. I'm just going to put my fall hat on because I love the fall. Fall decorations are already out in the store.
Here
Halloween
comes
decorations are already out in the
Kanani's
store.
I love fall rant. Here she comes. She's gonna go for it. She's gonna go for it. I love fall.
You know what? Just
I
because
love
I
fall.
bought like 7 things yesterday that say I love
Fall.
pumpkin spice
I just
does
love
not mean
fall.
I need your attitude, Missy.
Fall. I just love fall. I just love fall. See, fall is my state. She thinks she's the only white girl who loves fall, and that's the
Oh my
thing. We're
God,
like,
she does.
"Nutty."
She acts like she's literally
I just love the fall.
so unique.
I'm the fall.
First
I
of
just love
all,
the fall.
I loved fall before all these other bitches even knew what fall was.
That is not
let's
even before
Such
people knew what
bullshit.
fall was. Like they thought at
Bullshit.
some point they didn't know.
Exactly.
I just love
That
I love
is
cozy
asinine.
weather. I love cozy weather, and I love like my coffee
Sweaters
with a
and
pumpkin spice. And I've always loved Halloween. Halloween is I just love the fall. I just love the fall. We should do a montage, Hillary.
Yeah.
The 5 years of Fall Equinox episodes where Kanani goes on a rant, and every one of them about all the things she loves about fall.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
Because it's better than all the other seasons.
That will be next year's fall equinox release.
It's just Kanani's
Just the
rants.
entire episode will be just a repeat of Kanani repeating how much she loves the fall.
And the title of the episode is
I'm here for it.
Newsflash, a white lady likes fall.
I'm here for it. I am absolutely here for it. I'm here for all those things.
Oh
Absolutely.
my God.
I remember when we first bought this house
Fall.
and I went to the store and I just decided, I don't know why, I just got a wild hair and I decided everything that was pumpkin flavored, I would buy.
Stop
and
it.
I had 3 bags worth of stuff from the grocery store. And then I laid it out. Somewhere there's an Instagram photo I took. And I laid out all of the rando things that came in pumpkin. And it
Courtney.
was like insane the amount of things that I had.
Courtney, you're horrible.
I'm just speaking the truth, and I haven't slept
You're
in
like,
36
it's just
hours.
the reality.
Oh, I'm like one of those fucking hard people who goes, it's just the way things are, man. It's just what the people are saying. But in this case, it's true.
It's true.
I love this because usually I'm the bitchy crabby one and you're so sleep deprived that you're stealing my thunder.
It's true.
I don't know,
Amazing.
but I'm kind of excited by it. Although I'm not willing to be the nice one. I can't counterbalance it. So there's just going to be a lot of bitchy in this episode because I can't.
Jesus Christ. I am so tired.
I can't be nice.
My little girl got her first virus. She got some kind of little throat infection that came with a fever.
Oh, Nuggie.
Which meant, poor little Nuggie did not want to, so she had me up every 20 minutes, 2 nights ago. And then
Brutal.
The sun comes up, we go to the emergency room and she's fine. But then it also meant that our travel plans needed to get rearranged. And so, my husband and I got home very, very late last night. Very, very late. And babies, even if they go to bed late, they don't sleep in. They just get up early and then cry all day.
Yep.
And there was no...
Especially when they're not well.
Yeah, and she doesn't want to nap on her own because she's not feeling well. So she only wants to nap against snuggling against my husband or I, which... is really, really cute and sweet and makes me want to cry. And then I also want to cry because I can't really go take a cat nap of my own because I'm afraid of like dropping her or rolling over on her. All the other things that they scare you about when you mention anything about sleeping near your infant. You're like, oh, be careful because you could literally roll out of bed onto the bassinet.
You're going to kill your child.
And it, so... Yeah.
Oh yeah. People go crazy about it. There is a genuine worry. And there's, you have to be very careful, but like people are like, yeah, don't let the bassinet even be nearby. And it's like, okay, you're not going to fall. No, I find it very hard to believe that someone would roll out of the bed and into the bassinet and not notice or have somehow roll onto something. Yeah.
Well, I know it's a secret that I love fall. But even though, I feel like even though I like to keep things private, I think it's okay if people find out that I love the fall because, I don't have to keep
Oh my God.
everything a secret. But I'm still fascinated, and I don't know why I don't think about it in summer and winter time. But ever since we had Theo on, who came to talk to us about the spring equinox, if you remember, but where they were, it was actually the fall equinox. And so I think of that now. Every fall equinox and every spring equinox, I always think about the fact that somewhere in the world, someone is experiencing the opposite season.
Yep.
And I don't know why it doesn't trigger me in summer and winter, but in every fall and spring, because that's just happened to be the occurrence that happened on the show. I think about that and it makes me giggle.
But this is where I'm like, know that I'm exhausted and stuff like that. Cause it's like, I'm sitting here saying, so yeah, it could, cause right now it's July and therefore it's Christmas in Australia. It's not Christmas in Australia, but it feels that way.
It's bananas. I can't. My brain's too mushy to do this.
Kanani was like, wait a minute.
We can't do these things. We can't do these things. These are the things that make my brain mushy, and my brain was already mushy because I've had no
It's winter in Australia, but they have Christmas in their summer.
No. These are the things
though.
that make me angry. This is like Santa in surfboard pants. I can't. It makes me so angry. I was never more angry than when I was in Hawaii at Christmas time and Santa was wearing surfboard pants and had a suntan. It's not okay. It's not okay. It bothers me. And I even got hate. I got hate comments when I previously said this on the show. People wrote to me angry saying,
did they really? I didn't know that.
Yes. Oh, people were pissed. And I was like, no, I stand by this. Santa does not have a suntan, period. I don't want to hear it. I don't know how to help you.
God.
I don't know how to help you work through that. But my brain will not allow Santa to have a suntan and wear surfboard pants. It can't happen. My brain can't do this. Oh yeah, I got like not angry messages, but I got very kind of like hurt, displeased messages about how I had, mocked Santa in the surfboard pants. And I'm just like, no, I'm not here for this. I will die on this hill.
Surfboard pants. Y'all, people cannot like something in your region and it is not a personal attack.
No, trust me. If I give someone a personal attack, they know they've been personally attacked because I make sure to make sure. This was personal. Just in case you weren't sure. This was very personal. But yeah, so no, it is definitely a little weird because we're pre-recording, but I'm just so excited because
it's fall.
Talking about Finnan is just, there's so many amazing things that happen on that land and in that place. And even with, I've been going for as long as OWOW has had SunFest there, which I have to remember has been 10. This was the 10th year because the first year that OWOW had SunFest at Finnan, I was pregnant with my son. And so I did not camp. I came and I volunteered and I literally had to waddle my ass around that land helping out because I was like, no, I'm sorry. I am not going to be 7.5 months pregnant camping on an air mattress. That's not going to happen. I can barely tolerate being on a regular mattress. So that's how I can always remember how long we've been there is because I was pregnant with my son the first time we had an event there. And it has just changed and grown and become just so much more magical. And now there's so many more shrines and altars and sacred spaces that have been carved out and created. And it's absolutely incredible. So, and I have wonderful, Courtney has come out multiple times to different festivals and whatnot. Hillary's come out.
It's true. I have. It's so beautiful out there. Kanani, what do you normally do from here for fall equinox?
Besides shopping at Home Goods.
Well, yeah, besides Home Goods and pumpkin spice lattes.
Besides buying all of the things that say, I love pumpkin spice. So fall for me, I enjoy, I'm sure it has to do with my whole Libra, liking balance, all that kind of thing. I am a big fan of the equinoxes as opposed to the solstices, where it's, extreme dark or extreme light. I really like the day that kind of is in balance, where you realize that you're transitioning from one phase to another. So fall for me usually involves some sort of usually involves a bond. Now that I have a backyard that has a fire pit, the kids and I do s'mores. We do different things with the s'mores. We'll kind of bless the different ingredients of the s'mores. Like I'll have them put the graham crackers in their hand and they'll say, this is what I want with this. And then they'll do the same thing with the chocolate and they'll do the same thing with the marshmallow. And then we put them all together and then we eat them and we put those intentions into our body. I enjoy that kind of a thing. I usually, I actually saw this idea of it because I like to carve candles. Candle magic is a huge part of my practice. I actually saw someone had the idea of you carve things into apples and then you eat the apples. I liked that idea.
I love that.
I thought
Eat your
I
magic.
thought that was really cool.
Eat it.
I thought that was really cool. And actually, if I'm being honest, I've never actually seen that. I just made that up in my head. But now I'm going to do it.
What? You've never seen?
I actually just made that. No, I actually just made that up in my head, and now I'm going to do it.
I'm so confused.
I had the idea. I was thinking of something being carved, and then I was like, I've seen it on apples. I never actually have, but now I'm going to do that because I have seen a lot of apple magic.
So she's saying that she heard of someone that did something,
but really,
it was her own idea.
Oh my God, you're a maniac.
You were testing the focus group to see if it would be received well before you took the credit for the spell.
Thank you.
That's exactly what happened. You did.
I love how much you love me. I love how much you know me.
You're like, I'm gonna say
that's
this.
A great idea.
And I'm
I just made it up in my head.
I'm gonna wait to see what Courtney and Hillary say, and then if they like
Before
it,
I admit that I actually just made that up in my head.
The s'mores thing, my idea.
The s'mores thing I've done with the kids for years, and I don't actually remember where that came from, but the whole carving things into an apple and then eating the apple, I just got that idea.
Oh my God, you are in fucking
from the s'mores thing.
Jesus.
And the fact that I am actually, I love to carve things.
Oh, I have a better idea. I have a better idea. Here.
Oh,
instead of carving, because I just know you're going to cut yourself, you should get,
I'm going to cut myself.
Get some caramel and get it on a toothpick or, a butter knife and then drizzle the sigil of what you want in your life on the caramel.
Here's why I won't do that. Here's why I won't do that. I can get stitches. I don't want to have to get skin grafts. I would rather get the stitches than the skin grafts that I'm going to need from burning myself with scalding hot caramel.
You don't have to have it hot. If it's too hot,
do it this way.
No, you don't want it hot. If it's too hot, it'll just fucking fall everywhere.
I've got an idea. Get a caramello bar. Crack it open and use the inside of the caramella bar.
Oh my God, you guys are the dumbest. You guys are the dumbest.
Now you're talking to my level and my expertise and what I'm capable of.
I swear to fucking God.
It's all awful. It's all awful.
Go over into your stash of Cadbury cream eggs.
You know I don't have a stash of those. I eat them as soon as I buy them. I'm lucky if they get it out of my car into my house before I've eaten them once they've been purchased. You know that I don't have a stash.
You probably order them on eBay somewhere. Somebody's selling their stash and they live forever. So, yeah.
I love that you knew why I would say that it was someone else's idea is because just in case someone hates that idea and thinks it's stupid, I'm not going to admit that it's my idea to carve into apples and eat them.
If I were not here, she would tell people it was my idea to see if they liked it.
Especially if they didn't like it.
Yeah, she'd be like, Courtney's a joke. It was me.
Yeah.
Well, it was Courtney's idea. So
yeah, food magic is where it's at for me during around fall equinox, because it's I really like, for me, it's candle magic and food, but it's really nice because it's it's a way that I love to be able to bring people into whatever I'm trying to manifest at that time or whatever energy I'm trying to bring in, because it's a good way to share that magic with people, by feeding them. It's both caretaking and being comforting as well as manifesting some magic. So, and then of course, candle magic or fire magic this time of year. So I'll often do a bonfire, or if I'm not up to, or if it's still too dry here in Oregon or up in the Pacific Northwest, it's then I'll do candles instead, just to make sure that I don't burn my house or my neighbor's house down, because that is not the kind of love you want to share on Fall Ec.
No, not at all.
But yeah.
Yeah. For me, I used to go way up into Connecticut or upstate New York with my coven, and we would do a lot of food eating and all kinds of things. And, Fall Ec has been the one holiday that's really fallen off of my personal practice radar. And, but one thing I do is I let the garden go to bed. A lot of people come in and they just hack their gardens in the fall, like clean up for the fall. I don't. I go around and like talk to all the plants and just tell them good night. I'll see you in the spring. And I let them wither, not like wither, like they haven't had water, but I don't cut the brown stalks. I leave them up for the insects. So it's like y'all have food for the winter. So my garden's pretty messy up until the early spring. And then I do go clear everything out in preparation for the new stuff. But I just, spend a lot of time watching the garden go to sleep in the fall. So it's not really a specific ritual or practice, but it's become really, really lovely. And I have no idea what I'm going to do this year with the kid, because we're husband and I are kind of in this place where we really want to start keeping our practices fresh so that our child is involved and has a spiritual structure to lean on. But at the same time, we're also busy and, don't sleep much. There's that.
I think that's okay. Especially since she will have absolutely no recollection. I kick myself so much. I went so bananas over the top for holidays and Christmases when my kids were infants, and they have no idea. They have no idea any of these things happen.
Yeah, they're like, we don't know what you're talking about. No gratitude.
They have no memory. I'm just like, why did I do that? Why?
And I tell that to relatives. I'm like, I know when it comes to Christmas, please don't get a bunch of stuff for her. She's not going to know. Put the money in her college fund, or give the money to a charity in her name. Do something like that. And they're like,
or something practical, like if she needs a new whatever, but not
exactly, and
not just like toys.
And then they said, then they'll turn into, well, you mean you are going to let her have Santa one day, are you? I'm like, of course, but she's not even going to be
but she's not old enough to even recognize that yet. Why are you going to do the Santa thing for a 1-year-old?
My husband and I will probably do something. Now we're talking, I am so confused because now we're talking Christmas and it's supposedly Fall Ec when this is out there, but it's actually July and I don't know what's going on. I can't.
Your poor brain is like,
but it's Christmas.
No.
But it's Christmas in Australia. It's Christmas in July. It's Christmas in Australia. I'm going to tell you why.
Well, I think it's time for our sponsors to save us and for us to take a sponsor
please
break.
Fucking save
I can't wait to get the hate mail from Australians to go, actually, it's not Christmas here, but y'all, we're just going to let Connie believe that. It's easier for her to understand. We have gotten so hooked on wearing our Blessed Be jewelry. Their pieces are the kinds that become your wear everyday signature items. They are, because they're so delicate and discreet, they are broom closet friendly, and they give your witchy jewelry, more of an upgrade, a special touch. It is very tasteful witchy jewelry that is perfect for your everyday wear. You can wear it in the conference room. No one's going to know, but you're going to know because you are magical, and it's made by witches, and Blessed Be Magic has got something for every witch, regardless of their status of being in or out of the closet.
I am freaking out and love their new anklet collections and sets that they have right now. They have a triple goddess anklet, a pentacle anklet, and they have a Hecate's wheel bracelet and anklet set, which, yes, I have in fact purchased. I absolutely love anklets in the summertime. There's just something about having pretty jewelry on your ankles when you're wearing your summer dresses and in short season. It's just spectacular.
Yes, that new collection is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, frankly, everything Blessed Be Magic does is gorgeous. I have a number of their pieces and I wear them regularly and always get complimented. They have over 700 plus 5-star reviews. Like 700. That's insane. And they ship worldwide.
Yes, it is perfect. It's beautiful and magical. I wear my Hecate ring everywhere. You can step into your power with Blessed Be Magic's minimalist jewelry for powerful, witchy women.
Head over to blessedbemagic.com, that's magic with a K, and use WitchLife15, that's WitchLife15, and save 15% on all full-price talisman jewelry. Trust me, with as much shopping as you're about to do on this site, you're going to want that 15% off.
Thank you to Blessed Be Magic for being an episode sponsor. Literally everyone knows this podcast runs on blood, sweat, tears, and jasmine pearl tea. But now get ready, witches. Our beautiful friends at the Jasmine Pearl Tea Company have some new blends for this summer.
Oh my God. Seriously, everyone knows how obsessed I am with tea, and I am extra obsessed with Jasmine Pearl. Fortune's Fool, which is a pu'er tea for those looking for a more sophisticated tea, is insane. I am in love with it. Plus, it has pigs on the wrapper, which makes it extra amazing.
I need all of that tea.
They're insane. And everyone knows that coffee is my jam. One of the ways that you can get me to drink tea is when you have some sort of a mint tea. And the Northwest mint is absolutely fantastic. It's something that you can make in a large brew and you can put in your fridge so that you can drink it cold during hot months. And it is absolutely marvelous.
Yeah, and also the blackberry fig, which can be enjoyed either hot or iced. I mean, it's the end of the summer. Iced tea is still the thing, but the nights are getting cooler. And so this is a really great one to have around during the transition from summer to autumn. Also, you've got the equinox. It's a great herbal for this coming month and the change in the seasons. And it contains herbs that can be sometimes beneficial for those of us with uteruses.
You really, really need to go check out these teas at thejasminepearl.com. Save 10% with coupon code WITCH2023. That's WITCH2023. And you get free shipping on orders over 35. So get those orders in.
Thank you so much to the Jasmine Pearl Tea Company for being an episode sponsor. We are so excited about a new sponsor that we have called Luna & Company Soapery. They are a family-owned soapery with a focus on helping you to amplify your manifestations while you practice your self-care. I can personally say that I love their Luna and Persephone soaps.
Yeah, there was really no chance that anybody was going to get that. They sent us a gift box and Kanani was like, yeah, Luna and Persephone mine. There was no discussion about it whatsoever. But everything that they have is absolutely fantastic. I mean, this is handcrafted natural soaps that are really great for your skin while also incorporating magic into your everyday self-care routine. I mean, just washing with this soap is its own magical act.
It is so true. I am seriously in love with their planetary and goddess soap collections, which are ritually consecrated and made with intention to help you harness each respective planetary and goddess energy into your spell work and rituals. Like, that is so amazing.
I have been using their Isis body oil every day since I got it when they sent us that shipment. And I am absolutely hooked on not only how soft it makes my skin, but I also love the blue lotus and carnations with amber cedarwood scent.
You do really smell good these days. I'm not going to lie.
It's true.
Which is shocking.
It wasn't by accident.
No, it's true. So you can find Luna and Company Soapery on Instagram at LunaCoSoap and at their website at lunacosoapery.com. They currently only ship domestically here in the United States, but you can get 15% off your first order when you use coupon code WitchLife15. That's WitchLife15. Do it, witches.
Seriously, go do it. And thank you so much to Luna and Company Soapery for being an episode sponsor.
Well, we are super excited to be joined today with two special guests. We are joined today by Michael Agee and Katrina Bubas Stevens. Michael is one of two executive co-directors of Finnan, an 80-acre forest property just outside of Vernonia, Oregon, and an Oregon 501c3 nonprofit whose mission is to be a sanctuary where art, spirit, and nature meet. Information about Finnin can be found at www.finninorgan.com. Michael joined the Pacific Northwest Neopagan community in 1986 when he made the journey from Kentucky to our very lovely Cascadia rainforest. He graduated from Portland State University with a Bachelor of Science in General Studies and a certificate in Women's Studies. It was through women's studies that he met the goddess and shortly thereafter moved into the Mystic Bone Hut, came out as a gay man, and found his heart's true home in the pagan community. Stepping into his first public ritual, Michael handcrafted 9 plaster moon masks cast from the housemate's face to stand around the circle at a fall equinox celebration held at Beacon Rock State Park in Washington. His path has taken him all over the Northwest, and it has been love and do ever since. As a founding board member of both the 9 Houses of Gaia and Other Worlds of Wonder, 2 other 501c3 organizations in the Portland area pagan community, Michael supported the Northwest Fall Equinox Festival, SunFest, and WinterFest, where creating rituals, initiations, temples, and magic were all part of his co-creative energies. As Lysios, an epithet of Dionysos meaning freedom, Michael is a maenad of the MeliOphis, thiasos, and of the Spire. A thiasos of... Seriously, Michael? What is that word? Bacchants?
Bacchants.
Oh my God. Kanani.
Thiasos of Bacchants who have danced and tranced with the god
leave
for many
all
years.
of this in. Leave it all in.
This year, Michael is co-creating Finnin's Fall Equinox Festival, celebrating Hecate, her rites, mysteries, and devotions. We're also joined by Katrina Bubas Stevens. Katrina has practiced eclectic witchcraft since 1994. Half Greek, half Welsh, Scottish, Norwegian, she was taught by women in her family how to use traditional plants for food, medicine, and protection from curses. In 2003, she invoked the spirit of Aradia and embarked on a journey to Italy. While there, she heard a voice on the wind at the temple of Diana at Lake Nemi. Shrouded in mystery, the message has left her ever searching for its meaning. This was the foundation for her creation of Aradia's Festival of Torches, Finnin's 2018 Fall Equinox Festival. Over the years, she has studied and attained a level 3 priestesshood with Reverend Dr. Frodo Oculum, and a certificate in permaculture design and social permaculture with Starhawk. Professionally, Katrina holds a Bachelor's of Science in midwifery and is a retired home birth midwife, a level 2 Reiki practitioner, a holistic herbalist, and instructor with the Village Apothecary. She has reconstructed an ancient Greek healing technique known as incubation. Today, you can find her homeschooling her daughter, Roma, foraging for food and medicine, teaching herbal medicine classes, providing healings, and co-creating this year's Fall Equinox Festival at Finnin in honor of Hecate. Now, I do not know Katrina nearly as well, and she was so much kinder to me in her bio. I would just like to say that right now.
And I'm
so
Greek.
We are so excited to have you guys here. Katrina, Michael has actually been on this show before. Katrina, you have not.
He decided to come back, which
I know.
Which makes this question
Katrina,
his life choices.
So Katrina, one of our first questions we always ask new guests is kind of your origin story, and how did you know that you were a witch or a magical person?
Yeah. Well, years ago, in the early 90s, so long ago, I was taking a stroll through a B. Dalton bookstore. I don't know if you guys remember them, but B. Dalton. And I happened to go down the occult aisle, and a book literally slid out on the shelf toward me. And I thought maybe there was someone on the other side that, pushed a book in and thus, made that one stick out. But there was a solid wall behind the books, and so that wasn't possible. And it was the Wicca Spellbook by Garina Dunwich. And So I picked it up and looked at it, and it looked fascinating to me. And I bought it and I took it home and I read it from cover to cover, and I was absolutely enthralled. And then I couldn't stop just devouring information and practicing and doing spells in my backyard, and until eventually I met other people, and that started to grow. So that was the original part. I think that was 93 or 94.
That's awesome. What a fun story. I love that. That's really cool. So it found you. You didn't find it. It's like, hey, over here.
It basically
pay
was
attention.
like, pay attention to me. Hello.
Yeah.
That happened in that movie about the black hole, and there was a time warp, and I can't remember any of the names of the famous actors that were in it.
Interstellar.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that was cool.
The one actor my mom wanted me to go marry, Matthew McConaughey, when he was doing a movie out here in Portland. She said I should go meet him and marry him. Yeah. True story.
All right.
All right.
Exactly. Well, Michael, what have you been up to in the last... I'm trying to think. You were, I think, in our first year, because you actually came to the crazy room, didn't you, at Hillary's?
Yeah, the garage. Yeah.
Garage?
No, I was in a side room at your house.
Oh, that's right.
We were at a big table, and there was like, oh, let's get the mic right, and can we hear everybody, and blah blah blah, and we talked around that big table. It was great.
Did we do
That's
that?
right. Okay.
We were just so,
you're old school. You're when the guests came to us and we weren't doing everything digital.
Yeah. I mean, we used to invite people with a very creepy invitation. Please come to Hillary's house, then walk down to the basement. At the end of the hall of the basement, there is a room on the right. Enter this room. Bring a coat because it suddenly gets cold in there.
Don't forget your white robe.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Forget your white robe.
Exactly.
And we're just like, and it's, yeah.
So what has been going on with you? I know recently something that's really exciting is Finnan became a 501c3, which is awesome. But what kind of new stuff is going on with you?
Well, it is the Finnan thing. I mean, it's pretty much Finnan 24/7 for us around here. We are doing upkeep on the property, developing shrines. We are talking with Columbia County, figuring out how to get a private park overlay and all of these pretty complicated moving parts. We have a brand new board of directors. We're moving into our third quarter, as it were. It's Q3 now. We're going to have our third quarter board meeting coming right up. And it's a great group of people to work with. People bring all sorts of skills to the board. We have really excellent financial advice and excellent legal advice, which is really sharpening our ability to look at what are we doing and how can we do it in a way that makes sense. So it's actually really sweet right now at Finnan, and we have not planted a garden this year, except incidental bits and bobs. It's not about that. It really is about taking care of and developing the property.
Which is looking absolutely spectacular, by the way. I go every SunFest, obviously, and every time I go, there's always something new to see. There's always something new that's happened. There's always just fun new bits and bobs to look at, and it's just wonderful.
Fairy circle, right? Did you see the new fairy circle?
It was fantastic.
Quadrupled in size, all those
the felt mushrooms.
Yeah.
It was so great.
Yeah.
It was so great.
It's cool.
I just want to say that I really appreciate that you're getting all this education about the business and the work that way, because so many people who, that are either artists or wanting to build intentional communities or wanting to go into spirituality or writing, they tend to avoid business as if it's the antithesis of what they're doing. And for me, that was true when I was younger too. And because you're like, oh, it's a fallback position, which in truth, it's like, I've known so many artists and creative people and spiritual people that get screwed because they don't know what to look for in contracts. They don't know how to write one. They don't know what resources are actually available to them and to make their dreams a reality. Because unfortunately, we still live under the evil granddaddy of capitalism, and we still need money to do things. So yay!
We do. So that's one nice thing about being a 501c3 is that we can now offer people the little piece of paper that says, thank you for your donation. And you may now take a portion of that off on your taxes. Woohoo!
Absolutely. Well, so I was really excited to learn that the theme for this year's fall equinox is going to be Hecate. And I know, every year there's a different theme, there's a different inspiration. And I was just kind of curious if you guys have a story as to what the inspiration was behind the theme for this year's fall ek being Hecate.
Well, we have a third director for the festival, and her name is Wendy Caroline. And she couldn't be with us this evening, but she had the inspiration to build a permanent shrine to Hecate on Finnan's land at the crossroads. So that kind of initiated this journey, if you will, of figuring out how to do that and also how to present it to the community. And so that's kind of the core, the basis of our festival is presenting this shrine to the community that will be permanently there, and then helping people build a relationship to the goddess.
The shrine is built out of, it's being very carefully crafted by Dan Seeger, her husband, and they are investing an enormous amount of time and energy and money into putting the shrine together. It's not something small. It is made out of really high quality, large timber, and so forth. It's like nothing that we have on property up to this point. So it's really going to be amazing, and it's going to be the first shrine that we're actually going to use the Beautiful's Cylon green tiles that we got as a donation about a year and a half ago. Picked them up in Salem, and they're going to be, the top of that shrine is going to be tiled in that. It's going to be really gorgeous, and we cannot wait to share it with people. It is, however, going to be a 2-year process to get it fully installed. Dan is camping out here several nights a week and just working nose to the grindstone. And even at that, because the shrine is out in the woods, it's at the crossroads just by the Dionysos circle. So getting materials out there and preparing the land and getting the, everything.
Oh, that must be so hard to get it all out there. Yeah,
it is. Watching him work he is a beast. He's an amazing guy.
I was lucky enough, I got to chat with him for a while at SunFest, and he was just telling me all about it. And I was so excited, and you can already start to see the 4 of the columns are already there, and structure is kind of already coming to fruition. And so just, kind of standing before it and just kind of in your head and in your mind's eye, kind of envisioning what it's going to look like is just already incredible. So I cannot wait for when that's completed, because it's absolutely beautiful. So I think, that's interesting to know that it was actually Wendy's idea to come up with that. And there's something right now, I think it's about the time that we're in right now and kind of what's going on in the world, what's going on in community, that for some reason right now, Hecate is just really calling to people, and a goddess that people are just really drawn to right now. And I think that just says a lot about what's going on right now, and that so many people do themselves feel like they're at an impasse, they're at a crossroads, they're, kind of unsure about what's going on. People feel like the world is very unstable and uncertain right now. So I think that's going to be a very impactful ritual for people this fall. Is there something I'm trying to remember? I can't remember. What is the name of the ritual?
The festival is titled Hecate, Her Rites, Mysteries, and Devotions. So every event is one of those 3 things. So we'll be doing daily devotionals. We're going to be building a fire altar with a small image of Hecate in the main meadow, and we'll be doing devotionals 3 times a day and doing offerings there. We'll be doing nightly processions to the shrine, and doing offerings and different things. I don't want to give too much away at the shrine. And then we also have some deeper mysteries that we're going to be experiencing as well, some guided journeys and things like that. So there's some, we also have some personal self-led rites in different places as well. Where one of them we're really excited about is the Magic Well. There will be a table set up with I think it's like 12 different herbs and what their uses are in magic. And so people can create spells and then drop them in the well. If you haven't been to the well at Finnan, that'll be a new.
I have actually been in the well at Finnan, which Michael can attest to.
Yeah, this is
I fell in said well and had to be rescued out and had my ass drug out by our friend Maddie.
Oh, are you Hillary? Stop feigning surprise. This is maybe news, but it's not surprising.
How did you fall in there?
Thank you.
I actually went for a weekend, and it was there for the day, but it was a weekend where the project was, we were working on kind of a water area, kind of creating a water bed with rocks for where the water would come down. And we were digging out the well. So we were creating the well. The well wasn't just in existence. We were digging out the well. And it was just muck and mud and nonsense and shenanigans. And we were just covered and caked in mud. And somehow I was doing something and I literally fell into the well and I was neck deep in this well. And it wasn't even full of water yet because we were digging out the well, but it was just full of mud. And so Maddie had to lay down and just yank my ass, throw me out of it like I was a wet seal. Michael just got to point and laugh and just be like, better you than me.
Well,
it smelled real good.
Case anyway.
Absolutely. Oh, I smelled fantastic when I got home.
Safety concerns. The well is covered now with a grate. So
no one
actually
fall
sent someone
in.
a picture. I sent someone a picture of that well when I was at SunFest, and I wrote on it, "The grate is because of me."
Yep. And they're going to have a sign there that says, because Kanani. And everyone's going to go, oh, yeah. Well, that makes
yes,
sense.
that tracks. Yes.
That tracks. Hashtag this tracks.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. I think that's wonderful. Now, we have a lot of listeners who are newer to the craft and kind of learn about things or kind of learning about all these things brand new. Can you kind of explain to some of our younger, newer listeners what you mean by devotionals?
Well, so 3 times a day, we will be calling the community together at the fire altar, and we will be performing a rite, a devotional, rites are different. We'll be performing a devotional that is a brief chant to the goddess, right, where we offer her our praises, and we ask her to bless us, and we do this morning, noon, and then at dusk. So, and we've done this in other festivals, and what this does is it tunes people into the cycle of the day, and it gets people into a sacred space, and it reinforces over and over again that sense of offering to the goddess, of coming to her altar and opening your heart to Hecate and singing her praise and giving your devotion to her. And when you do that over and over again, not just like once on Thursday, and then again on Sunday when you leave, but instead you do it 3 times a day, it creates this sense of connection with her that builds over the course of the festival. So we encourage everybody to attend all of the devotionals if you can. It's a very sweet experience. It's not a really long ritual, but it's something that everybody does together. And it's offering your heart to the goddess, and you can feel that connection with her. It's a very sweet spot in the festival.
yeah, it's like the dude's rug. It really ties the festival together.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So, is there any specific work that you did to kind of prepare how you wanted the ritual to be, the kind of devotionals that you would use? Were you did any of you were you already working with Hecate, or did you kind of develop any type of a practice to kind of prepare for creating these rituals and whatnot?
Yes. Yes. I mean, how much time do we have? We've been doing a lot. So, on a ethereal level, we've been, the three of us, Wendy, Michael, and I, been getting together on a regular basis, and we begin our meetings with herbal teas that help to get us in the right space, and we do journeys, guided meditations to Hecate's underworld cave. We connect with her, and we divine information that she would like for this festival. I also, Wendy and I have a group of folks that we work regularly with to do magic things. And so we have been doing an entire year of focus on her. So learning about all of her different epithets, which is basically different titles, like Sotira, which means savior, or Phosphoros, which means the light, or, bringer of the light, that kind of thing. And doing smaller rituals on a monthly basis to connect with all these different aspects of Hecate. On a physical level, Michael is building an 8-foot tall statue of Hecate. And then there's the shrine. And we'll be doing a dipnon, or as it's pronounced in Greek, dipnon. Dipnon. You have to say it like you just don't care. And that'll be Thursday night, and that's Hecate supper, which was traditionally done at the crossroads on the dark moon. It's just basically eating and offering food. And traditionally, people who have would give food to people who are without. And so we will be having a food drive also, where people can bring non-perishable goods to that as well, that we will deliver after the festival in Hecate's name.
It's fantastic. I love that. Is there any... So, first of all, I want to hear a little bit, Michael, whatever you're willing to share about said statue, because your artistry when it comes to creating props and structures and things for rituals is well known in our community for just being absolutely beautiful and ornate and fantastic. So is there anything you're willing to share with us about what this structure is going to be?
Well, other than to be overwhelmed with thanks and gratitude for your praise, oh my God. So it's triformous. So it's a triple goddess. It's 3 Hecates who will be standing there. And each one of them has a hound. So 3 Hecates and 3 hounds. And I don't want to say too much about it, except to say that the faces of Hecate, one of the faces is Katrina's face, which we cast. One is Wendy's. Yep, one is Wendy's. And the third is my mother's, which was a cast that I took immediately after she passed away. So she is the face of the chthonic Hecate aspects. She's the one who's in, facing the underworld. And of course, there will be torches and various magical implements, and the crown that the Phosphoros is wearing is going to be forged from iron. There were 3 iron spikes that were found in the earth when the area for the shrine was dug out and flattened, and those spikes have been sent to Cassie Gendlek up in Seattle, and she's going to be forging an iron crown that will then be gilded. And so that will be given to her in ritual.
That's incredible.
I know. That sounds insane. I'm so excited.
I just wish that Michael would put some thought into some of his projects. I mean, what he could do if he would just, a little bit of thought. I mean...
Yeah. And, there are formula for what you're supposed to do when you're creating an ensouled statue, and there are specific Hecate-based formula that we're going to be following, things that we will put inside of them, and doing very interior magic to ensoul the statue and to make it a fitting place, a fitting house for her to ensoul when she chooses to. So yeah, we're creating a giant talisman for Hecate.
That's just incredible. I cannot wait to see it. I cannot wait.
It's going to be
Hillary
wonderful.
and I plan on attending Fall Ec this year, so we want to come together. So this sounds like it's going to be
Wonderful.
absolutely incredible.
Oh, I'm going to be there for one day. I'm not going to brave trying to camp with an infant. I know there's a lot of people who do, and I have nothing but respect, and I'm not going to. But I will come.
Wonderful.
I can't wait. I can't wait to have us all there.
Day passes available. We also will have the statue veiled for the first day on Thursday, and the veil, we just dyed it with saffron in ritual over this past weekend, because Krokopepelos, which means saffron-colored robes, or the saffron veiled one, is one of her epithets. So we ground saffron by hand in a mortar and pestle, a whole group of us, and sang and made the dye, and dyed 14 yards of fabric to
Wow,
be her
14
veil.
yards. That's so many. That must have taken, that's a lot.
It's a big
Props.
statue.
That's amazing.
It's a
Wendy,
big
it's
statue.
the biggest statue. Yeah. Big props to Wendy because she coordinated all of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic. And I think that Hecate is such it's a goddess that works so well with the concept of a fall equinox festival. As, you know, when we're thinking about the fall, and we're, you know, kind of, we're reaping the harvest, but at the same time we're kind of looking towards, you know, the darkness that's coming, and knowing that the darkness is coming and whatnot. I think she's a wonderful goddess to represent, you know, the fall equinox. Is there anything specific that either one of you do outside of the Fall Equinox Festival? Are there any kinds of traditions or rituals that you do in your own practices to celebrate the equinox?
Well, I mean, because the equinox is here at Finnan, that's central to my practice. I mean, it's a practice of service, and so putting on the fall equinox is fulfilling that side of
It is the practice. Yeah.
It is that practice. Yeah, it's the doing of it. One nice thing about living out here at Finnan is that we're really in sync with the cycle of the seasons, and so you can literally see the days getting longer or shorter as our journey around the sun happens every year. And so the sense of where we are on the wheel of the year is really beautifully underscored by the life of the forest that we're embedded in. And so I will say that does help, gives me a sense of depth in my practice that I really appreciate. And it's also why I really like having people come out to Finnan whenever they can, because it's a joy to just do a walkabout and to let people check in about where we are right now. It's a very magical thing to do.
Yeah, I echo that. As a Finnan board member, I am helping to put on the festival every year. And so that is also part of my annual tradition, and has been, I guess I've been a part of the Finnan Fall Equinox Festival since 2017 when Ember put on hers. Yeah, and I mean, personally at home, usually that's when the heat kind of breaks, hopefully. I mean, gosh, last year was October, but that's when all of the produce that I've grown and frozen until it's not so hot, I pull out and start canning. So that's part of my harvest festival tradition too.
Mine's putting up Halloween decorations and buying the giant size candy bars on discount at the grocery outlet.
Perfect.
I think that's all. That's interesting. That is, I'm trying to think, is that not a typical, isn't that, no, I guess that's not really your typical canning time of year, is it?
It's usually done in August.
Usually more, yeah, that's usually when people, so that makes sense that kind of is part of that, you know, mentally that tradition for you, that's, you know, when you're doing the harvest, that you're also doing your canning and whatnot.
I'm a wimp when it comes to the heat. So I can't have like boiling water going for hours on the stove when it's hot outside.
I am a miserable bitch in the heat. Like, it is just, that is just a hard path.
In the heat, you're a miserable bitch.
Only in the heat. Or the cold, okay, or moderate temperatures.
or
Or
pleasant,
if there's a slight breeze. Or if there's a slight breeze. Any of those circumstances.
Pleasant weather with
Miserable.
a lilac scented air. She's mad about something.
Furious. Absolutely furious. Absolutely.
Glorious.
So, is there anything specific that you guys are hoping that people are going to take away from this ritual?
Yeah, a double handful of things. Katrina, do you want to throw in some, or do you want me to start?
Well, for me personally, the biggest thing I'm hoping that people will take away is a renewed or new relationship with Hecate that that maybe wasn't there before, or maybe had fallen away, and so that they know now that there's a place in the community that they can visit and connect with her, because that shrine's going to be there. It's permanent. So
I get a sense that a lot of people that are coming to the festival will have already met Hecate somewhere along the road, but I imagine we'll perhaps have a number that are new, and for those people specifically, I hope that they can find that sense of a deep immanence and magic and presence when the goddess comes, which, when it works, when it happens, it's like, wow, you know you're in a magic circle and you can just feel the energy rising right out of the earth. You know what it's like. And I'm hoping that they are able to experience that with Hecate and to feel that sense of connection and with divinity, like, okay, I'm home. Hecate says, hello, these thoughts are the stuff that I've been looking at. Oh, wow, there's a whole bunch of people here and we're all able to experience this together. This is magic. It's flowing. It's working. It works. Great. And I recall vividly the first time that happened to me. And it's been, something that I've been repeating over and over and over again ever since then. It's just the beautiful feeling of working magic and working magic in a group. I think there are a lot of different ways of doing magic and public ritual. It has some specific challenges, but it also has some specific things that it can offer, because really it's nowhere else that you can get a truly diverse group of people together that don't usually do magic together as a group. And so it can be a little bit chaotic, and it can also be that place where something new can break through, because all of these energies are coming together in a way that's difficult to do with a smaller group of people, if that makes any sense. So a large group of people getting together, like doing a devotion or focusing their energy on a magic, that it can bring out a whole new level of experience, both for beginners and advanced practitioners, to really sink in and get some good magic and some good insight into what it is that we do.
I agree with that 100%. And I would also add that not only is that true for public rituals where you have, or large group rituals, where you have the addition of all these different energies and people working towards the same goal. I would say that the same is also true for places, meaning I've said oftentimes that I never get messages or have things come to me as clearly as I do when I'm walking around at Finnan. Part of it is because I'm at festivals, so there is other people's magic and stuff working. I love you, absolutely. But part of it is the fact that is magical land, right? So yep. I believe, and I have had, even when I'm not there in a festival full of people and the festival's full, the same experience, because that magic is imbued in the land. It just exists. People practice there so much, and there's so much magic that has been worked there for so long that it's just also it's in the ether. It's
like the
in
whole
the energy
space
that exists
everywhere.
Absolutely. The whole space is magic. So you take the fact that it is a magical place, and then you add to that, that you're practicing a ritual or practicing magic. And then you add to that, many people are adding, or practicing that magic and that ritual. And it's a very, very powerful, exciting combination that I think, like Michael said, and that's a true experience for someone who has been practicing for decades or someone who's new. And so I was very happy to see, like at SunFest, they brought back a psychic protection class, which I thought was really good because festival bends are a thing for sure. So especially if you're not used to it, the magic and the energies and stuff that happen at these festivals can be very, very overwhelming, especially for people who are not familiar. So I think I'm really excited for this. I think this, like I said, I think Hecate is a beautiful goddess for the season. I think that her message and her energy and what she represents is a really wonderful choice for a fall equinox ritual. I'm just super excited. Hillary and I are just super excited to go. We can't wait. It's going to be wonderful.
I'm glad that we can have Courtney and her husband and little Nuggie there.
That's right, because Kanani's forgotten that I exist. She's like, Hillary and I'm like, I still exist.
We're
She's
going
like,
to
no,
be
you
staying
don't.
there. You're going to come visit. It's different.
We need to
It's
set up
gonna
an
be super
area.
fun.
We need to set up a That Witch Life hosted area, and that way people that want to come hang out with us know where to find us. And we'll
Yeah,
have
it's true.
Kool-Aid and spiced rum ready to go.
Oh, that was so fun.
I'm on the way.
The Kool-Aid. No, it was the
That sounds
Gatorade.
good.
The Gatorade and the spiced rum. It was the Pepsi and the apple cinnamon vodka. That was a horrific combination.
And yet you still
I drank
enjoyed
them
it.
both. Don't get me wrong. One was much more tolerable than the other.
Yeah.
So no, I'm very excited about this. And I thank you guys for coming on to kind of talk about it and whatnot, because I think it's going to be great. And Courtney, I'm sure I've heard, I haven't read it, of course, but I've heard that you wrote a book.
God.
That you wrote a book about Hecate. Is this true? Was this like something someone lied to me about? I don't know.
I can't hear what you're saying, but I think Hillary just asked me a question about my Hecate book.
I did, yeah. I asked a question about your Hecate book.
Y'all, it's been 2 years since that thing came out. Isn't that crazy?
Really?
Yeah.
It feels like it just happened.
I know. That's because it was during the pandemic, which was the time warp.
Yeah.
And
it's
also
a time where like everything was super fast and super slow simultaneously. Like everything went like in a blink, but then also took a million years, you know?
I know. So it's just, it's been, it's funny because I don't want to be like, I think I was channeling for a lot of this book, except I think that I was channeling through a lot of this book, because there's these moments where I've got witches on TikTok that are reading the book and they're like, oh my God, this passage really resonated with me. And they read it out loud and I'm like, holy shit, wait, I wrote that? I needed to hear that yesterday. How come these messages don't stick with me? They just come through and then I put them down and then I forgot I ever wrote them. I'm like, oh, this has been the answer to something that's been bugging the crap out of me for weeks. And turns out I already had the information, but I just wrote it down and put it out there. So there you go.
I can't remember. Someone told us what it was called, and I think it was Matt Aaron a long time ago had a name for it that Laurie Cabot had given him. But it's what happens to me when I read tarot. I'm just saying it. I have no recollection about what I'm telling you. And so later when people will come back and be like, remember how you said this and you said this and you said this? No, I don't remember actually what happened during the reading. I just, out it comes and here it is. And, I'm happy that it resonates with people and it's meaningful for them. But I literally have no recollection or retaining of any of the information that I'm giving them. And so it's definitely a thing. It's absolutely a thing. So what's coming down the pike? I mean, obviously Fall Eck is your guys' number one, focus right now. And the Hecate Shrine, which as you said, is going to be a couple year long process. Is there anything else that's happening with Finnan right now that people need to know about or should know about?
Well, we'd send them to the website, www.finnanoregon.com. We do a full wheel of the year, and they can click on that. They can become a member and support Finnan if they want to. Come out to Member Days, which is the first of each month. We do all sorts of meditations and exercises. The next things that are coming up we're doing a Lammas celebration, and then after Fall Equinox, we are a Samhain. And then of course Yule, and the wheel keeps turning. What runs through the entire wheel of the year for us is the life cycle of a tree. So the maypole will come down at Samhain and be cut up, and that's used to build the ancestor shrine that we do the ritual there. And then at Yule, we burn the maypole logs, and then the ash from the maypole log fire is given back to the earth to complete the carbon cycle at Imbolc. So that's one of the things that we key into at Finnan, because we're so surrounded by the life of the forest here that it became really clear that really living next to and inside of the tree cycle and understanding that deeply and resonating with it was really important to us, and to share that with as many people as possible. We also at Beltane we do take a live tree every year, which acknowledges the fact that human beings take up space on this planet. And, we do consume things. It's part of our life cycle as well. But when we do, like I just said, that tree goes through the entire cycle of the Wheel of the Year, returning back to the forest as ash. And also we replant 3 trees for every tree that we harvest. So it's actually regenerative forestry that we're practicing. And we take a tree that improves the life of the trees around it. So it's a thinning process. So those sorts of things are coming up. We invite people to go to our website and to check out our Wheel of the Year activities and to come join us.
That's so much fun. And for those, I'm trying to remember if the picture of you dressed up as the Ostara bunny is on the website. I don't remember if that was.
Yeah.
Is that just like an Instagram, Facebook photo, or I'm trying to remember if that actually makes it on the Finnan Oregon website.
I don't know, but it's. I admit it. I love being the bunny when we have a bunny. My inner
so
child
fun.
is highly developed.
That's right. I love that. That's so great. So where can people find? So that's where people can find more information. Finnanorgan.com. That's Finnan FFYNNON Oregon.com. And I guess, is there anything coming up with you guys personally on your spiritual little journeys right now? Anything you're working on? Any side projects separate from that?
Well, I have classes that I'm teaching on herbalism, so plant medicine making specifically, and I'll be doing a 4-week herbal tincture intensive in October and a 4-week brews and stews intensive in November. So we'll make magical brews and soups and things that are medicinal.
And where can people find information about that?
My website is like old-timey THEE, villageapothecary.com.
Michael, how about you?
My work is, as you might imagine, focused on getting the statue done. And that is consuming my days and also my dreams and my nights.
I'm sure it's literally everything right now.
As soon as I said it, I'm like, Michael eats and breathes spinning. That's what Michael does.
Yeah, it's true. And the statue, she's kind of let me know.
You also get to live there.
Well, yeah. Yahoo! Yeah. It's a blessing.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Well, thank you guys for coming on and talking to us about this. I'm so excited. This is going to be my first Fall Equinox Festival that I've attended. I'm trying to think. I may have gone. Courtney, did I go to one with you on the East Coast?
You could think. Well, those. No. Yes. That was actually in September. They eventually moved it to August. But it was in September originally. You're correct.
Yeah. That was my very first one that I ever went to. Was in Connecticut. That was in 2005. That was my first ever group festival, and that's where I met Janet and Gavin.
And I literally quit my job.
I met Gavin's namesake.
I thought you were going to say where you met your Gavin's daddy. I'm like, whoa, this is some new information.
I don't know Gavin that's that old. Right?
Yeah. No. Everybody, I was miscorrect. Guys, I haven't slept in a while. I'm so sorry. Everything has gotten weird.
Everything. Oh yeah, suddenly things have gotten weird. Yeah, suddenly
things have just gotten
weird
weirder.
before.
I thought I hit the floor, but then the next thing I know, it got weirder.
Totally normal. But yeah, I'm so excited. We can't wait to come. And absolutely, if you live in the, anywhere in the area that you're able to attend this festival, I absolutely recommend people come out. And Finnan has all kinds of events, like Michael said, all throughout the year. It's a wonderful place. It's an amazing place to be. The energy there is absolutely just unlike anything you experience in other places. It's really interesting because the events that are there are almost exclusively magically inclined. So it's not like other places where maybe they'll rent, a campground, or they rent, a horse camp or cabins or something, and that's where they have magical events. But then there's other events that happen there as well. This is rarely exclusively a magical place, and you can feel that when you go. It's very special. So thank you guys so much for coming on and talking to us about this. We can't wait to see you. We love Finnan. We're huge fans.
Yes,
Thank you for having
thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll see you soon.
Thank you for listening to That Witch Life podcast. Our music is by Dustin Schultz, editing by Corey Drake. If you like what we do, please subscribe, rate, and review us on Apple Podcasts. If you want to support the show, you can buy us a coffee or check out our merch on our Etsy store, or join us on Patreon for bonus content, ad-free episodes, or to join our witch squad. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For show notes, audio transcript, or to ask us a question to answer on a future episode, go to thatwitchlife.com. Until then, keep moding that shit. We will talk to you next week.
So mote it be.